All right, the Runaway Toyota story. Still a runaway. It's out of control still. A week ago today, a California man by the name of James Sykes, he called 911 saying his Prius sped up by itself. He was going 90+ miles an hour on the freeway. Now, you see the picture here. This is how the police officer got in front, helped slow this car, and helped stop that car. Federal investigators now have been examining that car. Toyota technicians been looking at it too. And according to a draft congressional memo, the feds couldn't find a reason for any unintended acceleration. They couldn't make it happen themselves. Meantime, Toyota's got a pretty big news conference coming up in about 90 minutes where it is going to address the testing. I told you we'd have a car mechanic on to talk about this. And let me bring in the mechanic. Lauren is her name. Lauren Fix is here to help us sort out some of this stuff. Okay, we've got the testing going on. Just because the testing couldn't duplicate what happened out there on the highway, does it mean that the man is lying?
No, it doesn't, because it could be easily a ghost in the machine, which could either be electromagnetic interference, which they call EMIs. You probably read about them in the paper, and I know you've discussed them. Or it could be a software glitch. So we don't know that. If we set that aside and we look at the big picture, though, there are some doubts to be cast on either side of this situation. And I think after the balloon boy, we all kind of want to know the facts.
Now, where are the doubts, then, as you see them in this case?
Okay, when it comes to doubts, I go, first thing, you know, we're talking about a guy when 911 operator who was right on the money said, listen, you need to make sure the cruise control is off. There was no response. She said, sir, can you put this car in neutral? He said he couldn't. I don't see why not. Now, I do know that on some of the transmissions, they pop back out of neutral into drive, depending upon which model you have. But anytime you have a vehicle like that, you just hold it into neutral for about 5 seconds. And as soon as you do, you'll hear a click and it'll go into neutral. It's just the transmission protecting you. Now, if there's a software glitch, that wouldn't work, obviously. And the last thing the operator suggested was shutting the car off. Again, he didn't respond. So those are the doubts I have. You just hold the on-off button for 5 seconds, just like Toyota has in the videos they have online and on their website, and it shuts the car off. So if that's not occurring, those are the doubts I have in my mind, as well as the fact that they were unable to replicate it both by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and Toyota themselves.
So it sounds like so much of the doubts come from behavioral rather than mechanical issues. It just seemed like some things he did people find odd. Maybe the car, if it was screwed up. I mean, just some of the things he did, a lot of people found odd. We do want to play his attorney, John Gomez, did have this to say in particular. Let's listen to it. I'll talk to you about it on the other side. Okay, Lauren, forgive me for my little fib there. We don't have that sound from the attorney, but they are saying they don't want to sue. They say it doesn't leave a footprint and you can't make it happen upon the man. Now, again, like you say, that stuff maybe so, but some of his behavior certainly leaves people to question. But you talked about a ghost in the machine. How in the world are you supposed to fix a ghost? Is there any fix for that? Sometimes things just happen on a fluke.
That's not a technical term, by the way. That just means that sometimes there is a fluke. But let's play the devil's advocate and play the attorney's side. He's not looking for any money out of Toyota, even though he had been bankrupt in the past. He seems to be paying his bills according to what we've been able to read and find, number one. Two, the car was in for service. We assume that when they brought it in for service that someone checked the brakes. We still don't know that because we have not seen that service report. And then on the other hand, if this were to happen and he wasn't looking to be an instant celebrity, he wasn't looking to sell a TV show or be on Oprah, and he wasn't looking for money, what was the gain in falsifying the story? So you have both sides, and before we instantly accuse him of doing wrong, I am sure his life has been turned upside down and inside out, and I don't think anyone would want that. But he did take the risk of putting one hand on the steering wheel to try to lift up on the pedal, and that was certainly more risky than putting the car in neutral or shutting it off.
Wow. All right. Well, we will learn more. Toyota, like we said, having a press conference here in about 90 minutes. I think we might learn more about this testing. Lauren Fix, our resident mechanic. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I'll be calling you for some more advice about my Chevy. All right. Thanks so much.
Okay. Take care, TJ.